I'm Maureen McGinley. I'm one of the Raging Grannies, as you can see. We're among the sponsors of today's teach-in. This event is part of a National Day of Action organized by the Campaign to Stop the Secret Trials in Canada. Before we get on to our program, the Grannies are going to have a little song. Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us in prison, circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children, keep the circle whole. Thank you, Grannies. I'd like first to thank the other sponsors of this event. Edmonton chapter of the Council of Canadians, the Edmonton Coalition Against War and Racism, Earth's General Store, Edmonton Small Press Association, and the Edmonton Presbytery of the United Church of Canada. When notice of this National Day of Action came to the attention of the Grannies, we realized that we didn't know nearly enough about security certificates and indefinite detentions. So little information was available in the media that it seemed to us that we were just being asked to place blind faith in the good intentions of the government. So we decided that a teach-in was called for to give us all more facts about what has been going on in the recent past. Our attention was forcefully focused on this issue by the Supreme Court's decision this past February declaring the present legislation is a violation of civil liberties and unconstitutional. This led us to read more about the current detainees and the way that they are being treated under the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act. And the more we read, the more convinced we became that this was simply unjust. One of the Grannies reminded me that our parents and our grandparents came to this land to live in a country which respected individual liberties, to live a life free from persecution by arbitrary government interference in their lives. We fear for our children. I want to tell you about what has happened to 5 immigrants to this land. Mohammed Majoub, married with 2 children, is a torture survivor from Egypt who was accepted as a convention refugee in Canada in 1996. He was arrested in June 2000 but never charged. His certificate was upheld on the basis of secret suspicions in October 2001. He was moved from prison to house arrest, 24-hour supervision, and no leaving home without permission in the spring of 2007. He asks for a fair trial where he can clear his name if there is any real case against him. Mahmoud Jabala, married with 6 children, is another torture survivor from Egypt and a school principal who arrived in Canada in 1996. He was detained under a security certificate for 7 months in 1999 before a judge deemed the certificate unreasonable. He was rearrested under a new interpretation of the secret evidence and is now fighting a 3rd certificate after the 2nd was thrown out. He was released to house arrest in the spring of 2007. He too only asks for a fair and open trial to clear his name. Hassan Almri, born in Syria and accepted as a convention refugee in June 2000, was arrested in October 2001 and his certificate upheld despite growing objections to the secrecy of the trial process. Since then, he has been threatened with deportation to Syria, even though we know what happened to Mayor Arar in Syria when similar allegations proved baseless. Hassan was held in solitary confinement for over 4 years. He has been on many hunger strikes to protest his conditions, the longest lasting over 100 days. He is currently the only detainee in the Kingston Immigration Holding Center. Mohammed Harkat, married, born in Algeria, was accepted as a convention refugee in Canada before being arrested in December 2002. Never charged and never given a fair trial, his certificate was upheld in 2005 under the unconstitutional security certificate process. He was transferred to house arrest in June 2006, under which he is never allowed to be alone, cannot leave home without government permission, and faces other horrible, harsh restrictions. He has repeatedly asked for a fair and open trial. Adil Shakaroui, married with 3 children, born in Morocco, came to Canada as a permanent resident with his mother, father, and sister in 1995. He was arrested in May 2003 and released under harsh conditions in February 2005. His certificate has not yet been reviewed by a federal court. His successful legal challenge to the security certificate process brought down the legislation in February 2007. He too is waiting to clear his name. At the end of our speakers, we will be playing the CD of the interviews and family members, the detainees, and you can listen to that maybe while you sign our petitions.